Thank you very much. What a group of people. We love this group. You voted for me. They never had a chance in Pennsylvania. They never even had a chance. But I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth at the legendary Mon Valley Works Irvin plant, with the proud Pennsylvania patriots who are the heart and soul of U.S. Steel. Thank you very much. That's great. Oh, you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy. There's a lot of money coming your way. It's a lot of money. You're going to say, please, sir, we don't want this kind of success. It's too much, sir. We can't take. Please, we beg you, we don't want this much success. But we do, really, don't we? We're going to be so successful. You have just started. You're going to watch. We're here today to celebrate a blockbuster agreement that will ensure this storied American company stays an American company. You're going to stay an American company. You know that, right? But we're going to have a great partner. We're going to have a great partner. And I have to tell you, Japan has been a tremendous friend of mine during my years as president. And then we had a little hiatus. We had a rigged election. But then we won. We said, let's make it too big to rig. And they made it too big to rig. And this is a much more powerful term than we could have ever had the other day. So a lot of things, God was looking down on us all for a lot of reasons, including right there. A lot of reasons we were blessed, and you're going to be blessed. You're going to see that. It will keep its headquarters in the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where it belongs. For generations, the name United States Steel was synonymous with greatness, and now it will again be synonymous with greatness. That's what it's going to be. The best and strongest steel on earth will forever be made in America and made in Pennsylvania. And I want to thank a man that I saw right at the beginning of this whole thing, during my first term, as we call it, U.S. Steel President Dave Barrett. Dave, thank you very much, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be. Thank you, Dave. And he came to the White House and he said, sir, we're in trouble. We need help. He was put there to save the company, right? I remember it so well, like yesterday. He was put there. They hired him to save the company. And he came up and he said, we need help, sir. I said, what can we do? Because all the steel companies were going south. They were all in trouble. He said, if you could get tariffs, sir, and save this company. And I thought about it. I studied it up real quick. It took me about 2 minutes. And I said, Dave, I think we're going to make you very happy. And we did make you happy, didn't we? We saved the company. We put 25% tariffs on your company. So we had protection. We were protected from outside horrible influence, including dumping, where they were dumping steel all over the United States, and we saved it. It was a great honor, and Dave was really the first one that brought it to my attention, and I appreciate it, Dave. You did a good job. You did a good job. He more than saved the company. He made the company great. This will be a great company in a very short period of time. Also, the vice chairman of Nippon Steel, Takahiro Mori. Takahiro, thank you very much. He's a great guy, highly respected. He's highly respected all over the world for what he's done with steel. He's going to make this is going to be his pet project. It's going to be great. Thank you, Takahiro. Appreciate it. We're also pleased to be joined by a man who's done a fantastic job. He's central. I always say he's central casting. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Where is Scott? Central casting. Thanks, Scott. We had a good report today. I don't know if you saw. The numbers were through the roof, and there was no inflation. And they said, you know, Trump was right again. They were all saying, oh, inflation, inflation. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs and other things, and we're keeping our competitive nations, we're keeping them, they're competitors, and we're keeping them totally at bay. And we right now have the hottest nation anywhere in the world. And 6 months ago, we had a nation that was dying. We had a nation that was cold as ice. And now we have the hottest, most talked about nation anywhere in the world. anywhere. Good job, Scott. Also, Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez DeReamer. Lori, thank you very much. Highly recommended by the Teamsters and a couple of others, I have to tell you. And I said, I'll take that. I'll take that. But she's been fantastic. Also, we have some incredible congressmen and women. Mike Kelly, where's Mike? Mike, he's wearing a shirt today. A lot of times he doesn't. If it's cold, he doesn't wear shirts. Thank you, Mike. Dan Muser, who I hear is going to maybe be running for governor. That's what I hear. I hear there's a rumor about that. There's a rumor about that. Another man, good luck with that, Dan. I'll tell you, if that's your decision, you've got my support. You know that, right? If you run, you've got my support. He's been a guy, don't you think? He's been a great congressman. He's been a great congressman. And if you run, you have my support totally, and you'll win. You'll win. The people are going to get it real fast. Thank you very much. Good luck. Guy Reschenthaler, who is a fantastic person, with a very good friend of mine today, and I appreciate you coming together. And Guy, thank you very much. What a job you've done from the beginning, right? We never had a problem from day one, you and I. So thank you very much, Guy. Great job. Mike Ruley. You know Mike? Where's Mike? Mike? Thank you, Mike. Great job you're doing. Thank you. Really, really good. And another friend of mine, a great hockey player, actually, Pete Stauber. Pete, thank you. What a great hockey player. He was the real deal, right, Pete? He'll even admit it. He's going to admit it. Pennsylvania Senate President Pro Tem Kim Ward. Thank you. Good job, Kim. Good job. Thank you. A woman who's an incredible writer, actually. She understands what they call the Rust Belt. We won't be able to call this section a Rust Belt anymore. It'll be a golden belt. It'll be a golden dome, right? It'll be part of a golden dome that we're building to save everybody's lives. But this is a woman who's really fantastic. She's a brilliant writer. She just got signed up by, of all groups, the Washington Post. That's big time. Selena Zito. Where's Selena? She's around here. Selena, thank you. She understands you people and me better than we do. She understands us, and she got it right from the beginning with Trump, didn't you, Selena? She said right early on, guess what? He's going to win. That was when people were saying, is he running? He's only doing this for fun. She said, no, he's going to win. And I wouldn't say it's fun, but boy, are we doing progress, right? We're making big progress. So you have a couple of people here that I wanted to introduce because, you know, being a guy that's watched a lot of football, this man had tremendous courage. He had a lot of grit. And everybody knows he wasn't the largest person on the field at all, but he was, in many ways, the most courageous. Rocky Bleier. Rocky. Come up here, Rocky. Come up here. Come up here, Rocky. Come up here, Rocky. He's such a great heart. Come on up here, Rocky. Wow. And two other people I want to bring up because I'm a fan of your Steelers. And I happen to think a really good quarterback is a man named Mason Rudolph. And I think he's going to get a big shot. He's tall, he's handsome, got a great arm. And I have a feeling he's going to be the guy. So Mason Rudolph, come up here. And also a safety who's an absolute killer, Miles Killebrew. Do you know Miles? Come on up here, Miles. Come on up here, fellas. What a team, huh?
do this. There we go. Mr. President, on behalf of U.S. Steel and to the people of Pittsburgh, more importantly, though, to all the Steeler fans that are here this evening, I have the honor of making you an honorary Pittsburgh Steeler and would like to present to you your jersey With the number 47 as the 47th President of the United States, a number that hangs in the National Football League Hall of Fame, I'd like to present this to a Hall of Fame president. Please accept it.
Listen, I'm honored to be here with a great Steeler legend like Rocky Bleier, somebody who fought for our country in Vietnam and came back and played some great football with the black and gold. Awesome to be here, a part of this big investment in Pittsburgh. Go Steelers.
How about this president of ours, huh? Just wanted to say God bless you, President Trump, and God bless you, Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great group of people. And he did have a lot of courage, didn't he? Not that big. It's like, okay, I said, Rocky, I've had you up to here. But boy, does he have a heart, right? Hearts, it's all about the heart. Also, Senator Dave McCormick, who had a great election victory, and he sends his regards. He's trying to get a certain bill through that's going to give you the largest tax cuts in history, and we got to get it done. So thank you to Dave. He's been great. Perhaps most importantly, let me thank the tough, hardworking members of the United States Steelworkers Local 2227 and the United States Steelworkers Local 1219 and the United States Steelworkers Local 1557. You people are amazing, and look what you've been able to do. Look, been able to do. This is a big deal today. This is a big deal. You know, I have to tell you about Nippon. They kept asking me over, and I kept rejecting it. No way, no way, no way. And after about 4 times, I said, you know, these people really want to do a great thing. They really want it. And they're putting up, you know, billions of dollars, and they're going to do this plant and other plants, and it's great, and you're going to have control, you're going to maintain control, and nobody would put up money like that. And every time, Dave, I think you'll say, every time they came in, the deal got better and better and better for the workers, because I didn't give a damn about anybody else, if you want to know the truth. And the rest of them, they'll take care of themselves. But for the workers, and I have no doubt that Nippon and Dave and everybody else, we're all working together, and I'm going to be in Washington. I'm going to be watching over it, and it's going to be great. But there's unbelievable spirit for what you're doing, and I'm telling you, you're going to find out that the great people of Japan, and we love them. You know, Shinzo Abe was my friend. He was a great Prime Minister of Japan. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us. You know what happened with Shinzo. But he was a great friend of mine, an amazing man. And it's an amazing country, and you're going to have a tremendous relationship. So thank you very much. We very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. For more than 124 years, the men and women of U.S. Steel have poured the molten metal and forged the tempered beams that built America's railroads, bridged mighty rivers, and raised up towering skyscrapers like the ones we have in New York. 100 stories high and much higher than that. The city of Pittsburgh used to produce more steel than most entire countries could produce. And it wasn't even close, but our steelworkers know better than anyone. Decades of Washington betrayals and incompetence and stupidity and corruption cost this region over 100,000 steel jobs, and they melted away just like butter melts away. Between the year 2000 and 2016, more than half of all the jobs in Pittsburgh iron and steel mills were obliterated. They were just absolutely taken away, like you take away candy from a baby. When I came into office 8 years ago, I proclaimed a simple but crucially important principle. If you don't have steel, you don't have a country. You don't have a country. You can't make a military. What are we going to do? Say, let's go to China to get our steel for the army tanks and for the boats and ships. A strong steel industry is not just a matter of dignity or prosperity and pride. It's above all a matter of national security, and it is. You're going to see some amazing things here. That's why I fought for the American steelworker like no president has ever fought before. That's why I won your votes like no president has ever won before. And right from the beginning, it didn't take long. You got it right from the beginning. I think before I even opened my mouth, because even as a private citizen, I used to fight and say, what are you letting all of these countries come in and steal your jobs, bring them to other countries? Why do you let that happen? Not only here, but all over the country. In 2018, I imposed historic tariffs on foreign steel, and the results were amazing. You wouldn't have this plant right now if I didn't put on 25% and 50% tariffs. They were dumping steel, as you know, from China and from all over the world. They were dumping it all over our country, dumping it. And it was bad steel, it was garbage, but it was steel, and it was cheap as hell, and it was a terrible thing. And you wouldn't have had any steel mills. I don't think, Dave, they'd have a steel mill open in the country if we didn't do the tariffs. And it was just in time. It was just in time. They were closing up as fast as you can count. In a few short years, domestic steel production surged by more than 10 million tons. Imports from your foreign competitors dropped by 24% almost immediately. And more than $15 billion of investment poured into American steel throughout the United States, all because you had a president who stood up for our steel workers and put America first. I'm very proud of that one. Stood up for everyone else, too. But then came 4 calamitous years of a president who obviously wasn't doing the job. I'm trying to be nice, so you know, I have to be nice. But what he did to this country is a disgrace. Between the borders, millions and millions of people pouring through our borders from all countries all over the world. They came from the jails of the Congo. They came from all over South America, prisons, gangs, drug dealers, drug merchants. They came from mental institutions, the mentally insane. They were pouring into our country by the millions. They allowed this to happen to our country. But we're moving them out, or we're moving them out fast, or we're bringing them back to where they came from. We're having a lot of problems with the liberal judges in courts, the radical left, crazy judges that, you know, they come in without courts. They pour into our country totally unvetted and unchecked. Nobody checked them. Nobody had any idea who they were. 11,888 of them were murderers. 50% of those over 11,000 people that were murderers, 50% murdered more than one person. And these people were allowed to come into our country by the Democrats, and you can never forget what they've done. And it's a single, we've beaten inflation. Look at what we've done. Look at the numbers that came out. The prosperity, everything is good. First time ever, right track, wrong track. We're on a right track. First time in 28 years. But they allowed that to happen. I built almost 700 miles of wall. If we didn't have the wall, we could have never done what we did. Over 700 miles. But still, they came because they didn't want to finish. They didn't want to close up any gap, the gaps that we had to keep so that we could get our equipment out, so we could get through. They didn't want to put up the final stages. It would have taken 3 weeks to put up the final stages. They said, no, we don't want the wall built. And I thought they were kidding, but they weren't. They wanted open borders, and what they let into our country can never be forgotten. The last administration granted tens of thousands of job-killing tariff exemptions to your foreign competitors. So they were afraid to take down the tariffs that I imposed because it was so good for our country, so much money. But what they did do, think of this, they gave exemptions, and they were so broad and so deep, and I guess you saw that, but the exemptions that they gave allowed foreign competitors to come in and steal our industry, steal our jobs, and bring them back home, and bring them home by the boatload. Crippling imports of foreign steel skyrocketed over the last 4 years like you have never seen before by over 30%. That's an incredible, crazy number. And imports of steel and rebar from Mexico exploded by more than 1,000%. We were getting our steel from Mexico. We were getting our steel from Canada. We were getting our steel from every place, but right here, it was then that we announced the crown jewel of our steel industry, U.S. Steel, was being sold into foreign hands with no protections for our great steel workers. And I said, there's no way we're going to let that happen. When I was watching over you, you don't even know it, I was watching over you. I tell you, best people. You're the best people. You built this country. You know, you people built this country. You people and others like you built this country. By the time I came into office, many feared that the Mon Valley would lose up to 3,000 steel jobs, that U.S. Steel would close, and it was a fixture of the Pittsburgh skyline. It may never live for another week. We had times we thought we were going to live. You weren't living for another week. But I promised the people of Western Pennsylvania that I would never, ever let that happen. And as president, I kept that promise. Boy, did I keep that promise. So soon after initially taking office, I imposed powerful 25% tariffs on all foreign steel and ended each and every one of the Biden exceptions and exclusions. And today I have a major announcement. And are you ready to hear this? This is on behalf of Scott, Secretary of Treasury, Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, and all of the great geniuses and people we have working, and they are smart, but I don't think you'd be a good steel worker, Scott. I'm sorry. We're going to have to put a little more muscle content into that guy. But he's great. He's great at what he does. We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that. So we're bringing it up from 25%. We're doubling it to 50%. And that's a loophole. And by the way, I have to tell you, I believe that this group of people that just made this investments right now are very happy, because that means that nobody's going to be able to steal your industry. It's at 25%, they can sort of get over that fence. At 50%, they can no longer get over the fence. So congratulations to everybody and to you for making a great deal. You just made a better deal, right? I said to the group, would you rather have a 40% increase? Because I was thinking about 40 when I came. I said, would you rather have a 40% or a 50%? They said, we'll take 50. I said, I had a feeling you were going to say that. So congratulations. Also, congratulations to Dave, because you got this whole thing started. Congratulations. Great job. Great job. The people here understand the word tariff, and you understand it better than the people on Wall Street. But now the people on Wall Street are finding out. They're saying, wow, you know, Trump was right. You saw today they had an announcer, Joe Kiernan, CNBC, Maria Bartiromo, who's so fantastic on Fox Business. And they were saying, you know, Trump was right. Look at these numbers. The numbers got released today at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it showed no inflation and tremendous income jumps for workers and for the people of our country. And they go, wow, he was right. He was right. But you knew that. You knew that before Wall Street. The workers knew that. We don't want America's future to be built with shoddy steel from Shanghai. We want it built with the strength and the pride of Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh steel, it's U.S. Steel, and it's going to be something even more special when you get all that billions of dollars of new equipment that they're going to be investing right here. Billions and billions of dollars. Since I imposed our steel tariffs, and you know, I said that tariff to me is the most beautiful word in the dictionary. I love the word so much. I've loved it. For 40 years, I've loved it. For 40 years, I didn't understand why people weren't in this country using tariff. They use tariffs to kill us. They use tariffs to take our businesses, not only steel, other businesses too. And we never knew how to use tariffs back because we had people in the White House that either didn't care or weren't very smart or both. And it really starts with the White House. It's very simple. It starts with the White House. But I said, it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. And I got slaughtered in the fake news. I got killed. They said, what about love? What about wife and family? What about God, they said. So they made the word tariff be my fourth favorite word. And now I have no complications. It's my fourth favorite word. God, wife, family, all of the different things, but they did. It's not even believable. I said, tariffs is my favorite word, and I got slaughtered by these people. But we've had a lot of fun. We've jousted for a long time with the fake news. But companies all over the world have announced nearly $10 billion in new investments in steel, just in steel alone. But the Nippon investment we're announcing today blows them all away with a record-setting, and this was just heard of. We just came out a little while ago. $14 billion commitment to the future of this company. That is the single largest investment. That's the single largest investment of any kind in any industry. So not only steel, go all the way back. You go into fracking, you go into anything you want to go into because you're a good fracking state too. We love fracking, by the way. But think of this, the largest investment of any kind in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we also will be the largest investment in the history of American steel industry. There's never been a $14 billion investment in the history of the steel industry in the United States of America. And Pittsburgh will very soon be respected around the world as the Steel City again. So I want to congratulate you. As part of this monumental commitment, Nippon will also invest $2.2 billion to increase steel production here in the Mon Valley Works, specifically allocated to Mon Valley, along with $200 million for the Advanced Technology Research and Development Center that's being built already in Pennsylvania. So I want to congratulate you. And in addition, another $7 billion to modernize steel mills, expand ore mines, and build state-of-the-art facilities in Indiana, Minnesota, Alabama, and Arkansas. So I want to thank you and congratulations to those states. Congratulations. And the bulk of these expenditures will be made in the next 14 months. It's going to happen fast. You're going to be very busy watching trucks go back and forth, loaded up with cash, or its equivalent. And it will create and save over 100,000 American jobs, including 14,000 jobs in Pennsylvania. Thank you. Very good. And by the way, your local union, I won't talk about your national union because I don't think he knows what the hell he's talking about. But your local union, I want to tell you, is so unbelievable. They've been great. I have to tell you that. This is an incredible deal for American steelworkers, and it includes vital protections to ensure that all steelworkers will keep their jobs and all facilities in the United States will remain open and thriving. U.S. Steel will maintain. I don't want to fight with those guys. They look pretty. I'll never fight them. U.S. Steel will maintain all of its current operating blast furnaces at full capacity for a minimum of the next 10 years. And we have that as a commitment. But I don't even think you have to worry about that. You're not going to have to even think about that. Frankly, it won't matter because they're going to be here for a long time, a lot longer than that. There will be no layoffs and no outsourcing whatsoever. And every U.S. steel worker will soon receive a well-deserved $5,000 bonus. That's very rare. Thank you very much. That's great. That's importantly. For what you've gone through a lot. It's closing, it's not closing, it's opening, and you want to stay here. People say, well, we'll move to another place, or we'll do chips, or we'll do something like chips. Somehow you don't want to do chips. I'm looking at these giant guys with the giant arms. You're not going to like doing chips. Most importantly, U.S. Steel will continue to be controlled by the USA. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done the deal. I wouldn't have done it. But the USA, and we're going to be working together, and you're going to look at your board. You have a great board, and we're going to have an amazing alliance. In this audience are many of the incredible workers who will really be bringing our steel industry roaring back to life, and it's going to roar, including a man who has supported me from the very beginning, the founder and steelworker of Steelworkers for Trump. In this area, I have some of these guys, they're great. And I had somebody in Michigan that was so great. I love that guy, and I love this guy. He's been with me from the beginning. Brian Pavlik. Brian, come up here. Come up here, Brian. Brian's been with us from the beginning. Oh, look at him, big guy. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did.
It's a great day to be an American steelworker. It's an honor to be on the stage with my hero and the greatest president ever, Donald J. Trump. Hello, my name's Brian Pavlik. I'm a third-generation steelworker and the president and founder of Steelworkers for Trump. The attempted assassination of then-president candidate Donald J. Trump prompted me to establish Steelworkers for Trump. Our membership now exists at 2.5K. In my opinion, President Trump has demonstrated remarkable support for the American steel industry, surpassing the collective efforts of all other presidents combined. Through tariffs, he has fought to keep steel being made in America rather than being dumped onto us by China. Through this deal, he has fought to keep us billions of dollars in investments that will secure jobs for generations to come. Thank you, President Trump, for your commitment to revitalizing the American steel industry and restoring its greatness and in making American steel great again.
Thank you, Brian. Great guy. And he was with me right from the beginning, I think, Brian, right from day one, and I appreciate it. We won't forget it either. So let me also bring up real fast a few guys that I met backstage that I was very impressed with. Jack, Jason, Scott, Donald, and Kurt. Come on up here, fellas. Get up here. Come on up here. These guys are great. Come on. They're happy people.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not prepared, but I can tell you I would rather be nowhere than where I am today with all of my U.S. Steel family, friends, and everybody that I love. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Berg. Thank you, Mr. Maury, and most of all, thank you, Donald J. Trump.
We did it. I want to thank everyone for coming. Today is a great day. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jason Zugai. I'm the former president, current vice president of Local 2227, and I've worked at this great plant for 28 years. I'm a third-generation steel worker working for U.S. Steel, and by the way, I'm damn proud of that. So, when we decided to stand up for the men and women of the Mon Valley, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. Almost every day there were obstacles in our way. At any point we could have chosen to give up, but we are steel workers, and giving up just isn't something we do. These investments will ensure steel will be made right here in Pittsburgh for years to come. And I want to take this time to thank a lot of people that were crucial to getting this partnership to the finish line. First and foremost, I want to thank God for giving me the strength, courage, and wisdom to fight day after day. I want to thank my family for their support. They were always patient with me when I'd be constantly on the phone, night after night, discussing this partnership, talking to politicians, or easing the mind of a union member. I want to thank Jack Maskell. We've been together from the beginning through this. From the many meetings together, DC trips that were nothing but business, to just brainstorming daily. Thank you, my brother. There's no one I'd rather have gone to this fight with. We did it. And I told you how bad I hate to lose. And we won, brother. We won. To the guys from Clairton and ET that fought side by side with us from the beginning, it was an honor, and I'll never forget our journey. I want to thank the local mayors who have stood toe-to-toe with us from the beginning. We greatly appreciate it. Mayor Kelly, thank you, and thank you for your friendship, sir. I want to thank my union brothers and sisters for believing in us and trusting us to get this done. My campaign slogan when I ran for office was, "I will fight for you." I hope that I've proven that to you. It was my honor. Selena Zito, thank you. From the wonderful articles you wrote and the social media posts and everything you have done behind the scenes, you are a rock star. Thank you. Senator Kim Ward, thank you for fighting for us as hard as you did. You were one feisty lady, and I say that with the utmost respect, and we appreciate it. The state of Pennsylvania and your constituents are so proud to have you represent us. Thank you. Chris Hall, just a small-town guy from Chalfont that made it out and wanted to give back to his community. Thank you for your words of wisdom and unwavering support for your community. You did a good thing. Congressman Dan Muser, you took our meeting in D.C. personally and never wavered after that meeting. You fought for us in public, and that means the world to us. We will never forget your support, and you can count on ours as well. Thank you. Mr. Maury, I love this guy. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our concerns and always making yourself available to answer all of our questions. This man has been disrespected and didn't deserve that, and I feel horrible that that happened to you. We will do everything in our power to see that never happens again. You have my word. These investments are life-changing for all the men and women here today and for our communities. I personally look forward to working with you for years to come. Thank you. I want to thank the men from New York and D.C. that called me every day. Every day. They gave me breaking news, advice, and guidance through this process. You might have been behind the scenes, but you definitely had a hand in getting this partnership to the finish line. Paul, Curtis, Chris, thank you. U.S. Senator Dave McCormick. I met the senator at a Trump rally in Latrobe before we were both getting ready to speak. He introduced himself to me and asked about the Nippon merger and what I thought about it. Well, as you know, I'm pretty passionate about it, and let him know that. He told me, after I win, you will be my first meeting. I was his first meeting. He kept his promise. He asked all the tough questions during the meeting, and he gathered the facts. We met again last week to touch base, and he took it from there. Without his help, this partnership doesn't get done. Thank you, Senator, from the bottom of my heart. And last but not least, President Trump. What can I say? I never doubted you'd be there for us when we needed you. When our international endorsed Harris, we decided to take a stand for what we believed was right. That was to come out publicly and boldly in support of you. Although we aren't public speakers, we tucked our fears aside and did what any proud American would do. We thank you every day for risking your life and laying it all on the line for this country. I knew you wouldn't let us down, and for that I will be forever grateful. From every steelworker that supports you and every family you saved, I want to say thank you, Mr. President, for making U.S. Steel great again. God bless America. God bless U.S. Steel. Thank you.
So my name is Don German. I am the plant manager for this Urban Works here. I had 35 years with U.S. Steel. I'm first generation U.S. Steel worker. It is an honor to host you, Mr. President, today. And let me tell you, it was a lot of work, but it was well worth it. I will always tell people that, you know, it is for the workers that are out on this floor. It is for our families that are out here with support us. It is for the community members in our community and our state and our country. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Good afternoon. As you know me, I'm Kurt Barshik. I'd like to tell Mr. President, the day I started at U.S. Steel, my supervisor at the blast furnace told me, "Kid, what are you doing here? Do you think this mill will be here? Look at Homestead. Look at Duquesne. They're not here. You're wasting your time." And I can stand here years later and think about our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren that are gonna have family-sustaining, good-paying jobs, all because of President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you.
Great people. These are great people. I want to just say, I mean, I just saw them. I think this is their 156th rally. I don't know what the hell their husbands are doing, but they come from North Carolina, the beautiful women of North Carolina. They're over here, and I just want to thank them very much for being here with us. It's been unbelievable. This is 126 or something like that. And, you know, they're happily married from what I understand, but I'll tell you what, that must be a little bit of a strain on the relationship. They've followed me all over the world for 9 years now. I go to so many rallies, and we appreciate it. It's called love, and there's so much love in this room. It's incredible. The men and women here today, they work every day to keep America powerful and strong, and for decades you watched as one globalist politician after the next sold you out and sent your dreams to China. and to many other foreign countries, but now you finally have a president who's working for you and fighting for you, and we're going to be watching over you. This is going to be so successful. You're going to be so proud of this. This is going to be a very big day. I hope it's going to be one of the biggest days in your life. I don't want it to be the biggest, you know. You got married, you had children. I guess we got to give that to them and give that to you. But this is going to be truly one of the biggest days in your life. I feel sincerely, I have such confidence in this group of people. Since my election, we've created nearly 500,000 new jobs, including 10,000 manufacturing jobs, and those numbers are going through the roof. We're going to have close to $11 trillion invested in new investments in the United States, and you can look at other years. There's never been anything like that. And by the way, that's essentially in 2 months, not 4 months, because it took me a little time to get acclimated. But over the last 2.5 months, we're over $11 trillion is going to be coming. Apple is spending $500 billion to invest in America, not in China. NVIDIA, $500 billion. TSMC, if you look at this one, TSMC, this is a company the biggest in the world for chips, $200 billion at least. Amazon, $4 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $55 billion. Merck, Stellantis, General Motors are putting in billions and billions of dollars. We have it all done. It's going to be all with very little inflation. In fact, it was 2.1% in April, way down. You went through inflation that was probably the greatest inflation in the history of our country over the last 4 years. And now we have it down to around 2%. Grocery prices are down. Mortgage rates are down. Energy prices are down. And gasoline prices over Memorial Day weekend were the lowest they have been since 2003. Think of that. In fact, in a couple of states, gasoline, $1.98 a gallon. When have you heard that number lately? Income soared in April, up 0.8%, almost triple expectations, and we achieved the largest drop in consumer prices and the largest increase in consumer confidence since the pandemic, and actually probably about 20 years before the pandemic. Last month, we also cut the trade deficit in half, and that's the story of today. They can't believe it. The numbers just came. We cut, before we even get started, actually, we cut it in half, the trade deficit. And very importantly, have stopped the invasion of illegal aliens who are undercutting your wages and stealing your jobs. You saw that last month. 99.999%. Can you imagine? That was our cut. It's been, the border is closed, but it's open, and it'll always be open to people that want to come into our country legally. We want to have people come in legally, but we don't want to have them come in the way they're allowed to come in. We've ended the flood of criminals, gang members, murderers, drug dealers, and human traffickers, and we're sending them back to the places from which they came. And the future of American workers is only getting brighter. I said before, and I'll say it again, we have the hottest country right now in just 4 months. But actually, you have to go back to November 5th. Since November 5th, that was election day, we had the greatest election victory, they say, in 129 years, the most consequential election in 129 years. I don't know what 129 years was, but we'll check it out later on. We'll find out. Must have been something pretty good. But we have the most consequential. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote. We won the districts, 2,750 to 505. We're doing a job, and you're doing a job, and it's only because of you that we could have had that success. We're right now on the verge of passing the largest working class tax cuts in American history. We got to get that beautiful, big bill, beautiful, beautiful as it is. We got to get it passed. The Senate, call your senators. And I'll tell you, you have great people representing you. Your senators, your congressmen, you have great people. Every single Democrat House member voted to impose the largest tax hike in history. The Democrats are voting for the largest, highest tax hike in history. I've never heard of it before. Meanwhile, our one big, beautiful bill will keep income taxes at the current rates and deliver no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our seniors. And we're going to make the interest payments, as you know, on cars. We're going to take the car payments and we're going to make them, those interest payments, you buy a car, you borrow money. We're going to make interest payments tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America, and that means made with American steel and steel from U.S. Steel. And we're permanently expanding the child tax credit, and we're creating a special Trump account for every newborn child, starting them off with a $1,000 credit to be invested over the course of their life. A little baby is born, they're going to start off with $1,000. And if we do a good job of investing their money, we're going to go with one of the investing guidelines. Who the hell knows if they're any good, but they have a chance to be very rich. It's going to be very cute to see. We're going to follow it very closely. And critically, the bill includes the largest reductions to wasteful spending in a generation or more, slashing more than $1.6 trillion in waste, fraud, and abuse. And the one big, beautiful bill, and get out there and get your congressmen and your senators and any other senator or congressman you know, get them to vote for it, because the Democrats are willing to vote against the biggest tax deduction or tax decrease in history. This is the biggest tax cut, think of it, in the history of our country. If it doesn't get approved, you're going to have a 68% tax increase. Lots of luck. And the Democrats would rather have you have a tax increase, think of that, of 68%. They would rather have that happen than vote for a bill where you get the biggest tax cut. So there's something wrong. You know, all my life I grow up, I watch politics, and I've always watched politicians say, we will cut your taxes, we will cut. These Democrats want to raise your taxes, and in theory, a 68% increase. One other thing I did, and you probably saw it last week, you know, we pay the highest drug prices and pharmaceutical prices anywhere in the world by far. Other countries pay sometimes 1/10 of what we pay. A pill that costs $20, we spend $200, $250, $270 in many cases. Most unfair thing I've ever seen. And last week I did what had to be done, and it wasn't easy against the biggest lobby anywhere probably in the world, most powerful lobby, the drug companies, and I'm not even calling them bad, but they were able to do things. They're going to be fine, by the way. They're going to just stabilize. But we're going to now call a favored nations where we will pay the lowest price anywhere in the world, and they have to match it. We will be cutting your drug bill by 85 and even 90%. You know, I was very proud in my first administration. You may have remembered, I called for a major press conference because we were the first, I was the first one in 28 years to lower drug prices. They were lowered 0.25% over a period of a year. And I was so proud of that because nobody had ever had an administration where prices of drugs went down. 0.25%, not much. Now we're going to be lowering your drug costs by 90%, by 85%, by 75%, by numbers that nobody's ever heard of before. We will be paying equal to the lowest price of drugs and pharmaceuticals anywhere in the world. Have fun, because that's a lot of money. That's going to bring down Medicare. It's going to bring down the cost of, think of it, Medicaid. It's going to have an effect on everything, but it's going to have the biggest effect on your wallet. You're going to be saving a tremendous amount of money, and nobody else would do that but me. I have taken on some rather harsh critics over that because, again, that's the biggest lobby. They spend billions and billions and billions of dollars a year not to have that done. But I said it's really time to do it. So you're going to have the lowest drug prices anywhere in the world. With one big, beautiful bill, we will protect over 7 million jobs, raise take-home pay for American families by up to $13,000 per household. and reduce taxes for working-class Americans by as much as 13%. Those are big numbers. The bill will also remove 1.4 million illegal aliens from Medicaid and protect the programs for truly needy Americans. And it includes funding to hire 3,000 new Border Patrol agents and 10,000 new ICE agents. And these people like you, these are heroes. The jobs they have done, they go into areas that are so dangerous, it's unbelievable, but they're tough, they're smart, and they love our country. So I want to just thank ICE, and I want to thank the Border Patrol, and I want to thank law enforcement in general. They've been incredible. Really incredible. And I'll never forget our firemen. I don't know if we have firemen here today, but we're never going to forget our firemen. They do a great job. Over the past 4 months, we've accomplished more than most administrations achieve in 4 years or even 8 years. We've done this in 4 months. We've done something on spirit and optimism and pride, which is sweeping across our land. And with the announcement, it's surging like never before here in Western Pennsylvania. Remember, the entire world is watching us today. I'm making a speech, and I have millions and millions. Look at all the fake news back there. Look at that. That's a lot of fake news, come to think of it. Now, they've been pretty good to us here. They've, gave us a reasonably accurate display. But all over the world, look at that. All over the world, they're watching your local region and how well it's doing and how well it's going to do. For generations, the workers of this region have always been there for our country when we needed you most. You built this country from Pittsburgh to Pottstown, from Bethlehem to Hopewell, and from Washington County to right here in Western Mifflin. The foundries and blast furnaces of Pennsylvania have smashed foreign armies, strengthened the hulls of the world's greatest navy, raised up majestic cities, won 2 world wars, and made America into the richest, strongest, and most powerful country on the face of the earth. And it's suffered greatly over the last 4 years, but we're going to get it back, and we're going to get it back fast. It's almost back already. It suffered, though. It suffered. I'm not going to make any excuses. It suffered with incompetent, radical left lunatics. But under our leadership, we're making it richer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. And that's why I want to thank you very much. And thank you, Prime Minister, and thank everybody. They all knew what was happening here. With the help of patriots like you, we're going to produce our own metal, unleash our own energy, secure our own future, build our country, control our destiny, and we are once again going to put Pennsylvania steel into the backbone of America like never before. The golden age of America has only just begun, and together we are going to make America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you very much, Pennsylvania, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.